1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, sa sa. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, sa sa. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, slap, slap. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Good evening and welcome back to Formula Racing League TV for our last off-season special event of 2025 season. We're here at Bathurst in New South Wales, Australian Mont Panorama circuit for the DK Mountain Multiclass special event for Assetto Corsa Competizione console version. They will see more than 30 capable drivers take on the Mont Panorama Simulator on a multi-class event on GT2 and GT4 race cars. I'm Andrea Montavelli, alias F1 GT Fisichella for my nickname, and I'll be honored to cover for you this off-season special event, the last event of 2025 for Formula Racing League. I want to start thanking Brown and all the admins of the FRL for giving me the chance to try commentating on this special platform, because if anybody knows, maybe some of them, you know, that I race with some of them, with some of you maybe on IRC, on the Fetch GT, that I'm usual to commentating in Italian, and this is my first experience commentating in English here for Formula Racing League for this special event, the Bathurst Multiclass event. As we can see, there are a lot of cars taking part of the practice session, 8 minutes until the checkered flag, and this is the last moment for these drivers to prepare to get it all warmed up for the qualifying session. They will follow up shortly here on Mont Panorama. Of course, it is a great pleasure to see back some other drivers, which, of course, I've raced also in different races. That is Paul Trotman here with his indistinguishable Ginetta G55 GD4. Paul Trotman was now in 25th place overall. Of course, these are the laps only available for getting their feeling right sort of the way for the start of qualifying, and most importantly the start of tonight's race. Also seen back like Prontis in the Aston Martin Vantage 24, Wood still in the Ginetta. All people I raced to in GT4 cars and different porters. And of course, also good faces that we all probably know in the GT2 category. Just a minute. Like of course, we are with Oscar, who's now in the Maserati. Is the fastest overall in this pre-practice session with the Maserati MC20 GT3 2.2.567 for one of the outsiders of the dark horses of the GT2 classes. There we got Serpentine in the first of the Audi A8 GT2 in second position. Of course, the gap is quite evident of 1.3 seconds. Of course, it's still too early. Only free practice, remember? Of course, all the matters will be qualifying and races. The follow-up shortly. Hoping, of course, for a special occasion. So now, only one spectator. Hoping you hop on. As he got out of the way for the pre-practice session. Of course, it's not just these drivers like the talent of the race, but there are also some league admins that are taking part of the last race of Formula Racing League 2025 season. Of course, there are Brown, Gilbino, Ray Chains, and Gentleman, the first two in the GT2 category. We see now here Gilbino in the Mercedes AMG GT2 number 19, who's now lapping a Chevrolet Camaro GT4 of Gunning. He's now into 12 places as he's approaching the chase chicane. And then, of course, we have Racing and Gentleman in the GT4 category. There are also, remember, Davies, Wood, apprentice commentators who have just lent me their microphone and will want to end the year on the racing wheels of these cars. Beautiful machineries, GT2 and GT4, so remember, with this Multiclass event. Then, of course, we have just a few minutes left of free practice. Remember, 1 hour of free practice. Then it's all about qualifying, 10 minutes. The first 5 minutes for the GT2 category drivers, and the last 5 for the GT4 drivers. Then we follow up a 1 hour and 30 minutes race, 90 minutes race here in the technical city of technical circuit of Mont Panorama. For what looks to be an exciting race, even with all the variables of the multi-class and the distinguished speed and cornering between GT2 and GT4. As you can see from the first time lap that we see down the table, now it's Copsey in the Porsche Cayman number 97, second in the GT4 class. We see, of course, first right up, then there it is. Good way in the Ginetta number 88. Now it is in a pair of Ginetta with another car. I believe, if I heard it, that is a Goldman Ginetta, the number 79, was still yet to sign a fastest lap in this 1 hour free practice. And look at Goldman, still close to the walls, already for the free practice. As he's trying, of course, to get all these tires, all these gloves, and all these foot warm up for the time attack in qualifying. Now, let's head back to the GT2 Let's see if there is the Maserati MC20 of Keller. Maserati number 179. Of course, Maserati picked Keller, and by the leader of the author, who was fastest also in the practice session before. Overall fastest lap on 2.27. So this free practice lap is already fastest from the practice. The test session went before the several review. Then there is Seventeen, Hyman, and the Monster. The Monster is the one missing at the moment. Hoping he will hop on the server as very shortly. About to see just from here. It's not very crowded for now. The chat on the YouTube. You can find us on the YouTube space, Formula Racing League TV, and of course, I will try my best for my first outing, English commentator, Formula Racing League TV. Now approach Color in the Maserati. To say the most laps possible before the end of free practice. Now, let's hop up of George on the old but reliable BMW M6. Looks like me. It was the old M6 before the M4 got replaced this car in the last years always in the GT4 category. Of course, we have a car that I have the pleasure to drive in a Fat GT Championship, a car that had a massive engine, massive speed on the straights, but it's hard to control on the corners. Tends to slide it, as we're seeing now from the downhill section of Mount Panorama after the skyline and the dip. Now on the straight, you can see all this horsepower. We got this on the exhaust of the M6 or the old M4 if you prefer. It's the checker flag now for the free practice session. Just the time for the last driver to set the last laps, and we'll go very shortly for qualifying action here at Mount Panorama for the DK Mountain Multiclass. Bathurst. George crosses the line. It's not a bad lap. You see Keller into the pits with, as usual, let's see, here's Heidman, the Audi R8 GT2 category, third place for now, as we are waiting the start of qualifying action. Of course, Mount Panorama, you will know the circuit by now. Australian track was first featured in a video game, and I believe a Top Gun racing driver for PlayStation 2, that we raised their popularity from Gran Turismo 6 and beyond. Is now one of the most popular tracks around GT3 category. He hosted the Bathurst 12-hour event of the Intercontinental GT Challenge, as you can see from the background of the garage, as the green light now is go for the qualifying session, starting from the GT2 category. We see the first cars exiting the pit lane. We see Wits with a broken set. Let's see who will be the fastest after this 10-minute action on qualifying. There was a mistake from Sigrid, because I got told it was a 10-minute qualifying, but apparently it's at 20 minutes, so few more time for the drivers to set their lap times here at the Australian track and an authentic treasure hidden in the Panorama Bathurst location, which is a 6.2 kilometers and 23 corners of pure challenge. And there is a problem. I've got disconnected from the server. Hopefully that means that there was a mistake from the settings, and we're going to start very shortly. I hope. We're now trying to wait. Still waiting official confirmation. We're looking at the oh, server reset will be back up soon. Okay, message from Chris Gentleman on the Discord server, so we'll be back very shortly. Just a little wait, and we'll be back. We'll be back. Of course, there's going to be a lot of pressure now for these GT2 drivers who were already preparing for their fastest lap. Someone is going sarcastic of the Bob apply for the GT4 category, and okay, everyone will still get the 10-minute qualifying. So Richings, admin of Formula Racing League, thank you, Richings. We'll all be waiting now for confirmation of the server reset. Okay, now the server, it must be reset. Yeah, we confirm the reset. Let's go.
Green light, go, go, go.
We're back. We're back in Mall Panorama as the drivers regain their places on the pit lane with the various GT2 and GT4 cars. Hopefully this time it will be without problems of any sort. So now 33 cars, 50 more, of course, since we had 38 cars subscribed, 38 drivers subscribed to this special event, an off-season event, and the 2025 year of action and racing here on Formula Racing League platform. Now we see Schumacher with the KTM Crossbow GT4 number 777. Of course, ending of the last minute for this German driver, Leon Schumacher. That's his name. As he's now trying to put out his best with the Austrian machinery. The good part is this free practice will last only 5 minutes plus some seconds, so it won't be a lot for the start of the restart of the qualifying session here at Mount Panorama. So, hear the sound of the KTM of Schumacher, so there we go. Jump on board then. Let's see what happens on Mount Panorama with Schumacher's KTM. That's a lap of Mount Panorama on board Leon Schumacher's KTM Crossbow GT4 as the number KTM, the number 8 of Barrett, come to slam into the barriers on turn 4 and 5, and again, but it's the countdown since the start of the qualifying session. Maybe they get to be a little silly since it's the end of the year, of course, so there's the start a little bit on the bright side. There's George again on the M6 GT4. And let's see if there are still drivers. Here it is, Pops in the Mercedes AMG GT4, which is not really a new face, seen him in some sort of races, but there are still some new faces that we see shortly in the GT4, like Hartog, Zdanov, Kopsey, Karamatic, Gatewins, Gunning, Deming.
Green light, give it all you can.
It is again green flag, and the qualifying session is started here at Bathurst circuit, Mount Panorama. And we start, as usual, with the GT2 category. First 10 minutes for these machineries in a category presently introduced as a gap between the established GT3 and GT4 category, which uses the name of the 2008 was not a popular category. The GT2 that were for production series cars. It was the GT3 from the GT1 era. Before the GT1 collapsed, the GT2 became, for a brief period of time, the main competition for the GT racing pyramid. Then again, at the same time, the GT3 was expanding of popularity and interest from manufacturers. There was a time where, after the GT1, GT2 ended, GT3 took its place. I believe it was in the from 2013 season or 2012. They were the first years of the new racing season championship, known now as GT World Challenge, of course in Europe, America, and Asia. Back then, it was known as the Black Pan GT Challenge, with the sponsorship of the anonymous watch brand, which was exotic and new touch class from the name. And so here we are again with the new Fantastic GT2 European Series. Then from next year, we'll introduce also new constructors from Ginetta and Ligier, alongside Maserati, Mercedes, and a few sporadic apparition, non-official, by Audi, by KTM, and so on. Now, for the first lap of the GT2 machinery is Serpentine, one of the favorites to try to aim for the top spot in GT2 category, will be the one first to finish the first flying lap, as it's followed shortly by another Audi. Looks like the number 2 is Metz. It is. These are following like cat and mouse, as Metz is hoping to find some reference, some slipstream in the straight from Serpentine to have a better lap time and place in a better position as possible. Of course, it's not the case for now for the KTMs. Like you can see, they're all trying to race individually, trying to not get distracted by the other cars around. And look, Serpentine looks to be have slowed down a little bit, if you allow me, after from the skyline to the dipper. And now he is a Colorado straight. Maybe it's a good position to take most of the slipstream and try to do a better lap time than the one out in front of him. Now into the chase chicane. Turn number 21 and 22. Look, these machines are beasts to tame in accident of corners, especially if you try to jump on the curbs of each corner. Now for the end of the first flying lap, 2.4, 2.4.8 for the point, 2.4.4 by Smets, who takes the top spot for now. The Porsche 911 GT2 of Verstappen is floating a P2. Keller and the Maserati is a P2 now, 3 tenths behind the Smets Audi. There we see Veref, weights broken. Of course, a lot of cars are still yet to finish. Schumacher is floating just behind. That's KTM. Let's see Gore in the white KTM crossbow. Number 22, who's now finishing the lap and Headley goes P7 at the moment. Let's see now Gerbino, one of the FRL admins, trying to get the maximum of performance from the Angel GT2 here in the Fanatec livery. It was Fanatec, title sponsor of the GT2 European Series and not the GT Challenger World Challenger for a brief moment until the economic case, the crisis for the German brand of sim racing wheels, Gerbino in 10th place between the KTM of Hendley and Verret. Now left Gore and also Figan in the Mercedes ahead. At the back in the white and green Mercedes Figan. Second course is best. Because we always then for the GT4 category to start. We'll start from 10 minutes from the conclusion of this qualifying session. Oh, when Fagan goes slamming into the barriers at the end of the Forest elbow. Front crash with the front bodywork for Fagan. Hopefully he has not many crashes so he can continue and try to set a lap time. Of course he's not here, but maybe he has something that is not going on the right and he chooses to go for the grass and try to do another lap. Maybe alone without any pressure from the car ahead of it. Warwick is Townsend in the pink R8, which is now, for now, 15th place. And Agor still following back behind him in the number 22 KTM. And Townsend goes. The concept of pink cars wasn't really well received until the 2017 Force India's Formula 1 car with the sponsorship of BWT, which reclaimed back again the trend, the pink cars, the pink racing cars, and then they're followed with it by a number of other liveries from racing teams. Of course, the GT Challenge. One example was, of course, the Iron Dames since this year. They were racing in the GT Challenge and also in the WAC Championship, or the World Endurance Championship, which consisted also of the 24 hours of Le Mans, as behind door is not following here and that's on difficult in the S's when I was forced to cut, so there's not much time left. Boldor in the KTM number 22, so now we have the first comment of the night on the YouTube live, and it's from Christopher Gentleman. How's things there? Welcome to FR Comms. I hope you did it. It's amazing. Thank you, Christopher Gentleman. What did the 40 car great tonight? That's right, because for now we have 36 car, considering also the last minute addiction about the KTM. And look on the pit lane. The GT4 cars are already starting there, like I'm waiting for the green light. Ladies and gentlemen. We've seen Porsche, so there must be Cop saying this is the first one waiting for the GT4 category. But let's get back to the GT2 qualifying action as Ostos Maserati is now up front with a 2 minute 3.100 lap time. Let's see if they can do better in this lap. And he goes by half a second almost. He goes to start his provisional pole. Let's see if someone can get closer to the monster lap time of the Maserati driver. Of course, the MC20 Welcome Beauty, the successor of the beautiful MC20 GT via GT Championship in 2000. Of course, it's a car that we all know mostly for the GTR and GTR2 races. And now, as we approach the half time of the qualifying session, it's time for the GT4 category to get to the track and push as hell to trying to claim the pole position in their respective classes. We have Flash, we have Gunday, as they all try to get their piece of track, their piece of free track, to get as much momentum as possible from this twisty Australian circuit. Of course, all eyes pointed also on Zidanov, hopefully I pronounce it's correct, one of the dividends in the GT4 category, but also one of the favorites from what we have seen on the free practice days here at the Panorama circuit, because Mercedes is a really stable car, a balanced car, not too heavy, not too slow, not too fast, and it might be a little bit unresponsive, maybe from the entry point of corner, from what for the few laps I've tried it, but if taken with extreme care, it can be a very really valid competitor in the GT4 category. Also see now some other cars. They all try to get the space, not exaggerate. Looks like we're riding in the purple Aston Martin Honda GT4 British GT stickers in the windshield. And now we see the first flying lap. This good day in the Ginetta, the first that we set a lap time in the GT4 category. We're closing just a brief moment in the GT category with, in the class, its pole position for Oslo in the Maserati, followed by Brown and Smith Audi in the second and third place. Brown is the only one to stay below the second gap from Austin. Then finds Mercedes in fourth place, fifth place for Bristolli in the only Porsche races in the GT2 class. Then Heijmans, Serfontaine, Keller, Witzer and Berger round up the top 10 of the GT2 class, and then Hadley, Giordano, Schumacher, Townsend, Brocken, Gore and Feger to end up things in the GT2 class. Now we see Goody, the British admin from the Racing League, is now trying to prove his value in the Ginetta G55 GT4. A machine that is a beast in the corners, is really stable, is really delicate on the tires, but there's one massive problem. The speed on the straight is very, very low, so if you do not qualify on front, you're going to have problems in the race when trying to pass the other cars. Let's hope then for the Ginetta drivers that all will proceed smooth for the qualifying session, as we have 5 minutes and 48 seconds left of action here at Multiclass for qualifying. Good day. Now, approaching the final corner. Let's see the lap. It's 12 seconds behind Austin, so it must be 2:22.6. Prentice is behind by 6 steps. The top 6 slots behind. Golden Sharp goes fastest in the GT4 class with his Mercedes by 7 tenths of a second. Falcinelli, Alessio Falcinelli, the BMW M6 goes second with 4 tenths of a second behind Sharp. Danov makes it a 1-2 Mercedes in the GT4 class in the moment, behind less than 2 tenths of a second from Sharp. And we're all waiting the next laps to see if we have a more defined situation of the field. Paul Trotman going rodeo in the last corner with his Ginetta, and is launching now. Paul Trotman, fellow friend, made of many autumn battles in the top 4 championship. Then we have Ridings in the Aston Martin Vantage. Curious about how the old spec of the Aston Martin machineries were settled against all the newest versions, almost new versions of the GT4 category. Of course, it's years, some years now that we've seen the new Evo versions of the GT3 and GT4 Vantage cars from the Lagonda's constructor. Of course, as you can see, and Regix tries to slow down Aston Martin, of course, with a powerful V8 engine. It's very fast and straight, it's very also stable, but it does not brake that well, ladies and gentlemen. We're seeing now from Regix that he's really struggling to get even the car to keep it on the track. Hopefully the next lap will be good to set at least a lap time. Then we'll see one of the odd choices of this category, gunning in the Chevrolet Camaro CL1. It's not many days to get to see this American muscle car in action on Assetto Corsa competizione, and let me tell you, when you see it's one of those drivers that are brave enough to take on the challenge, one of the cars that are very difficult to master. So for now, the P5 from Gunning, the class, of course, it's a note of huge respect. Let's see, he can get Bathurst as Facinelli goes one up. Gunning does not improve for now, and he stops. Let's see if he goes straight into the pits. Yes, it is. I don't know if there's time for relaunch, so it must be the end of qualifying action over here. Let's see now Facinelli in the BMW M4 trying to get closer to the trio of Mercedes with Bob Steele. I'm sorry, that name just got me by surprise. Then Sharp in second place, as Zdanov in third place. Of course, we're talking about the GT4 class, ladies and gentlemen. The first of the non-Mercedes car is the Porsche of Copse, which is in fourth place, not too far behind, even though 6 steps is a lot comparing in this category of machinery class. It's really easy for now. One-sided horse there is in the GT4 category. And we have to remind you that Gunning was one of the fastest in the free practice session with his Chevrolet Camaro. But for now, it's a non-Mercedes party. Now I focus with Sharp in the Mercedes and GT4 machinery, as Facinelli couldn't improve yet. He stays into P6 the class. Zdanov goes into the pits as well. He's almost done for Mercedes to take the pole position in GT4 class. I don't see anyone who's able to come closer to the pace of the Mercedes cars. The only question left is who will get the pole position. These drivers will be Bob Spitzel, or will be Sharp, which now is approaching the technical section after quarter corner. Will approach shortly the skyline to begin the downhill. They can make the difference in this type of cars by the brakes, putting the foot late on the brakes and trying to get maximum speed from the downhill now into the deep. You can see that it's pushing really hard to try to improve on the lap times. Here is the Porsche of Copsey. A little too far ahead. It's now approaching corner straight. Moment of tension in the GT4 class. See the final results. See which one will get on the pole. Copsey, oh, with two wheels on the grass and onto the barriers, and it's all over to Copsey. He will not get any better than P4 in the class. Let's see now Sharpie, who's approaching the final corner, the moonrise corner. Let's see if he can improve. He can challenge Pops Cipil. He can by 1/10 of a second. He goes into P1 in the GT4 class. Pops Cipil is not improving in that Frug, the Ginetta GT4. I believe is one of good Getman. Yes, it is. It is. So it's all done for Sharpie's pole position in the GT4 class with a late attempt who went exactly as planned for the number 37 car. Let's see Getman if he can improve on his P31 overall. If he can, no, he stays P31. So he's all over. The checkered flag falls in Monte Panorama. It's the end of the qualifying session. Remember, Austin on pole position for the GT2 category in the Maserati MC20, and in the GT4 category we have Sharpie, who starts on pole position. Look, Maserati and Mercedes cars, most of them Sharpie, just right near each other in the pit lane. If this was not meant to be a signal from the server, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. So, a lot of action already in the qualifying, but of course we're all waiting for the main event, the race of 90 minutes. I'll be back shortly for the start of the formation lap. Welcome back here on Mount Panorama for the DK Mountain Multiclass special event of Formula Racing League. Less than 40 seconds until the start of the formation lap for the special event that will close the 2025 season.
30 seconds.
FRL, now the signal of 30 seconds, they can start to place themselves into the grid. Of course,
20 seconds.
all of them will be forced to take 2 pit stops. In the time, in the
10
timing,
seconds.
which will start shortly. These are moments of tension behind. Go, see already about the pits because with the rule needs to at that time during qualifying before to start the race on the pit lane. As we now see the GT2 cars and then the GT4 cars exit the grid and start their formation lap. Now one single row to try to warm up tires and brakes as much as possible. Trying to roll up the tires to be up to the challenge of the mountain. And then Wahoo Panorama. Oh, the Bathurst 12 hour Panorama second. Those are the Bathurst 1000 of the race. Of greatest in the V8 Supercars Australian Championship event. Australians is the equivalent of the British Grand Prix. One of the Daytona 500 of NASCAR, just to take some examples from our series. As you can see also from the virtual stands, from the computer, from the simulator, we see how much fast, ready to follow. It's been a great racing. From these places, this skyline, you can see all the panoramic view of the mountains, of the scenery ahead. Of course, this track is also used public road, so it should feel like a sort of city circuit. But it isn't, and this is a real beauty of this track. From places that remember in the live circuit hosting the Formula 1 Australian Grand Prix before the Albert Park circuit in Melbourne, which hosts currently the F1 opening race. The rider and Mount Panorama still form a major part of the V8 Supercars Championship, and of course displays from the Intercontinental GT Challenge that will be held next month from the beginning of the new year with the Bathurst 12 hour of February. So it is the first main event, main real event for GT Racing, which will be looking at the calendar from after tomorrow, the New Year's Eve. Now, they're all forming each other, double row. They're all ready to start with the action here at Mount Panorama. Remember, 90 minutes of race, 2 pit stop, obligation from the rule book of this event. Of course, all sides are up front. The GT2 class, Austin pole position, Brown second, Desmet and Baez in front of fourth, but also eyes on the GT4 category. We're sharper in front of the field. We're all waiting the green flag from the racing competition. And we're underway now as Austin gets a great start. As either Austin Rush Tully with a Porsche trying to get his way past to P3. What a great start by the Porsche driver as both seal. It gets a drive-through penalty for excess of speed. That's not what he wanted to see in the opening out of the races. Austin is going all perfect now as he trying to escape from this one, but Brown is following me shortly in the front of the Audi R8. And there's a crash, there's been a crash in the backyard, in the oh my word, we see a very big crash. I don't know what happened, but it seems like some GT4 cars were involved, and also GT2 car all broken, which it is really bad damage. Is Audi R8. Talking about the GT4 category, Sharpie is maintaining the top spot from boss seat. And then today, then Prentice, then Thompson, and you know the other cars by the broken the battle, trying to get to reclaim the field, trying to overtake all the GT4 cars. That is easy for the GT2 cars, and the advantage in the straight, but in the corners. Actually, the GT4 cars might have an edge in this twist technical part of the circuit, and we can see while Austin still leading, Brown really up into his tail. It's a good start also for Brown, who's trying to keep up with the Maserati driver leading the GT3 field. Austin with the first lap of the race. Brown first building that was the fastest lap. What a start by the Porsche driver, who went into the side of turn 1 and got through 2 cars to get from P3 to P3. That is testament of his racing ability. That's massive fires of action is Fontaine, then it's Keller in the second Maserati NC22, who's trying to stay ahead of Alex Witz and KTM Ferret. And see them right through the cleared for Boss Seal. I'm going to get really confusion from his surname. I'm really sorry about that. It's not my fault. It's my first time here at Formula Racing League. See Keller with Barrett. All the two drivers trying to attack the other. They all feel very near each other. By the GT4 cars, you can see the two map are already spread out after the incredible crash in the straight, in the opening act. Let's see if someone can go take an overtake. Let's see. Heymans up ahead, trying to get the slipstream off Vice, Mercedes. Maybe we can see an attack here from the P5 in the chase and chicane. He tries to get up to his side, but there's no space left, so he has to stay behind for now. And keeping up the place in the top 5, but look at the pressure the Heisman and in general the Audis are creating on the cars ahead. Dave, Brown and Austin. Because Brown now is a little bit far, but still below a second from the leading GT2 car. And now they all had to stay on that. we've seen now a GT4 car, a Chevrolet Camaro, which I believe is a bleacher. Yes, it is. We can create some interesting moments. You see Perez, who has a headache. He tried to lock the car, and now it's the same behavior. That's what Asmet on the movie does. Because in this section, you cannot think of lapping a car because there's only one straight line, but Asmet tries on the outside to take care of a place and takes the lapping car. Incredible. And now it's a disadvantage for Fontaine and all the others behind him. And look at this, they're all close, but they have to follow one line as we approach the skyline and then the deeper. There's the beauty on the unpredictable panorama circuit. And the still that wave from the GT4 class, and now we're back to the straight as the GT2 cars will need it, and he's going to drive, he goes slammed again into the barriers. Fonte, Keller, and all the others are lapping the Chevrolet Camaro GT4 that has stopped early in this race. And now look, Keller and Witz has tried to get past their Maserati driver. He goes up the side, but goes a little bit deep from the brakes. Look, waits for the crash and goes bang, bang. Witz accelerates on the brakes and gets slammed by Derek on the KTM, and then Garbino in the Mercedes is a passenger on the crash. He tries to get back on the track, and they all get back, but it was a scary moment of show, all generated by Witz. They breaking gamble that did not pay off, and now he goes to the pit to replace the car. The first mandatory pit stop, same as Barrett. The race, of course, is already good at Sharp because into the pit lane, goes into boxing for his first mandatory pit stop. So Good goes into the lead for the GT4 car, followed by an Ezio Facinelli in the BMW. So a little bit of a twist on the GT4 class, which got more crazier after the incident in the first lap. What would happen? Maybe we'll see shortly what happened. See what happened. In the meantime, let's see the chat from YouTube. This is crazy. Good luck on comms. Could you turn the game sound down a bit so we can hear your mic a bit better? I'm trying to get a little bit too much in this condition. I stay ahead because Brown's really putting the pressure on them. Also, there's Maserati. Just a moment, I try to up my mic a bit, just a little bit more on a moment. Hopefully this is better. I'm sorry again. Maybe this will be better. Stand with my old headset of phones to slow down a little bit the volume so that my voice was cracked. I've had also having problems to pass the Porsche Cayman GT4 off Wagon, which of course is doing his race after his first mandatory pit stop, but it's complicating life for the Maserati leading driver. As Brown and Brustoni are all on his tail more than ever now. and we have to watch for Audi in the straight with the slipstream. Almost, remember, it was less than 1/10 of a second in a certain waypoint. And look at Brown, the driver ready to put pressure by putting his car on the inside and getting the speed. Now the Porsche GT4 can get out of the way, but let's see if Brown can do an overtake for the lead of the GT2 category. It's all in the outside of the chase, and Brown takes the lead. Great work of ingenious by the Audi driver as the Maserati tries to approach more on the straight and approach 30. Almost 2 wheels on the grass, trying to take advantage of the situation, but he has to stay P3 for now. Brown, the new leader of the GT2 class, has also almost lost it. So Verstappen goes up P2, and Matt goes up into P4. A disastrous 30 seconds for the Maserati driver, who goes down from P1 to P4 in a matter of corners. Meantime, let's see if there are any battles interesting. We have Figan and Gerbino. Gerbino getting closer to his fellow. And up ahead, just a few meters ahead, is Townsend in the pink Audi number 9. He is calm at the moment. In the GT2 class, very calm start of the race from him. Gerbino now is trying to overtake Vegan on the uphill, almost. Went to the inside of that. There's no place to do it here. There's no place to do it here. That's Berger is really starting to feel the pressure as his Mercedes slides and slides. It's almost like he's really putting a hold on Gerbino's race now. And then behind him, you can see the Chevrolet Camaro GT4, the class battle still goes on. And you can see the figure is really really struggling now with his tires. Let's see if Gerbino can get the better of him in the chase chicane. He goes up into the left, which is the outside of the next turn, but will become the inside. Then let's see. Here they go, say past, and Gerbergen goes again, but he was too accelerated for a braking point, and then Gerbino takes up into P14. Beautiful, beautiful work from him. Now again, let's see again what is up for Bob Tippler. Oh, and another Mercedes crashes right behind him. Where is the Barnett? Is Barnett in the number 30? Thankfully, his Mercedes car didn't take any meaningful damage, but of course, that collision with the Moss has done no good on his car, and probably puts in mind. It's another 2 pit stop now for Wheat and for Godman, which, his Ginetta car is destroyed on the front side. Then Wheat already completed, was the leader in the GT2 class and decided to spend here his first mandatory pit stop. Now, of course, with the strategy, there are a lot of interpretation on this race regarding the mandatory pit stop. One is the cars that are pitting right now in the first 2 or 3 laps, trying to gain the better track position, trying to push as hard as they can be and get a little maximize their performance on the track. Then there are the ones that tend to stay late, more late, so they can hold the position, they can try to manage their fuel tank. So it's really nice to see for now that there are so many strategies going on already, and it's only been 15 minutes into this race. It really tells you the quality of these drivers that we've seen so much. Now also he's trying to get back ahead of Metz and Bruce Duty in the battle between us Brown, trying to escape this trio fighting for the podium places in the GT2 class. Hopefully my audio is all good. You can hear above the engine noises. You can ask for your confirmation. The one that I'm following, and look at it, even more GT4 action right up ahead, as we see now. Let's see, it's Rychings and Sharpie fighting the people one of their own in the middle, the Audi R8 of, I think it's Brown, I think it is Brown. The Bruce Tunney is trying to get inside, trying to take action, but and Brown goes wide into the grass, and Bruce Tunney saying thank you very much to try to gain the lead of the GT2 class, and that's the beauty and the madness of the Multiclass. Now, it's Massa trying to say, no son, I'm going to take the R8 into the top step of the podium. There it is, so with the Maserati now back into P3. That's madness, I'm sorry, Sharpie now it's into P21 with GT4 car ahead of Ryching, who has severe damage from bodywork. Boss Diesel is into the pits now. That's it. Good day. Kapse getting the top 3. In the meantime, for the GT4 class, wishing I could treat more. It's a beautiful category, but the incident in the first lap, the fragmentation of the GT4 class, certainly is not helping anyone at all. It's going to cause so much headache in the GT2 class. Again, we'll see now. Have some sort look, they're all struggling here behind on GT2 class. This is H-Mans, Brown, Baez, and all the other cars behind. There's a big crash behind, ahead. I don't know who it is. There was an Audi crashing. Maybe it's the one from maybe weight broken, it was, but that's madness. Look here, Baez trying to take the slipstream of the R8, but the Audi machinery is more capable than the Mercedes on the top straight. So Baez should not have any opportunity for now to take the places ahead. And it is indeed. Let's see if Bruce Study in the Porsche GT2 machinery is going to pass Falcinelli. It is Falcinelli now up into P3 in the GT4 category, but Bruce Study is the leader of the race. So, I'll say, to jump straight into the Porsche machinery and jump on board to see what he's up to with the leader of the overall DK Mountain Multiclass event. Of course, and also some difficulties for Porsche as well. We've seen the Porsche win some match in the uphill and downhill section, and after the skyline he was forced to cut the chicane because he's taking advantage of the battle between Smith and Austell to try to gain more lead of the race. It's a nervous driving opportunity, but one that seems to pay off in this part of the race. As Austell tries to get up on this side of Smith and try to play second place, and it is. Austell puts back in Maserati in the second place ahead of Audi's Mertz. So let's see if Austell has what it takes to try to reduce the gap. Silver Studio now up into 3 seconds, 2.9 seconds. That's real testament of his driving skills for Studio. Even when his Porsche seemed really nervous on the central part of the track. Meanwhile, look at the GP4 car. Let's see if we're having some battles between Prentice and Bob Cecil. Battle for P25. Bob Cecil on this side. All too easy for the Mercedes driver. Then blocks the side. Very brave move. And he goes wide. Following the Porsche Model Wagon. So Prentice saying thank you very much. I'm going to take the place. But he doesn't want to hold it. He goes into the pits as Model Wagon Boss Seal goes back. It was the Ginetta high head. I think it's Godsman. Yeah, it's Godsman. Sorry for Model Wagon, but it's exhausting to follow all the GT4 class. Of course, their strategy shenanigans started early in this race, and there's a yellow flag in sector 2, number 9 is a Townsend who's forced to come into the pits. There's a disaster for Townsend. We lose a lot of time, blocked into the pit lane. Let's see if he's able then to continue. Let's see the battle from Smith, Hagemas that has taken a place from the Audi number 2 driver. Hagemas into P3. And now both Audi drivers are held up by a Mercedes GT4 in a 29 place of John Barnett. Jack Barnett, sorry. Hagemas managed to stop the car before turn 1. Smets doesn't, so he will lose a lot of time and gets the 2 wheels into the grass. So that could favor the return of Brown, which is right now into his tail. Look at it, trying to pass again. Now in turn 2, with trying to pass, and he goes on to complete overtake. Nicely down with Brown, who takes P4 with a great overtake into Griffin's back. Now we see if Smets can try to counter-attack, or if Brown will get the advantage and try to leave the follow Hagemas up ahead. Oh, look at Austell. He was left him 10 minutes early in a difficult period with Maserati, and now he's challenging again for the lead, and Rushdie comes a mistake, takes a mistake in the first elbow, and so also retakes the lead of the DK Mountain Multiclass. Nicely done by the Maserati driver, as Townsend is still into the pits, and we see it again with the GT4 car. Gooding is now well placed, he's up front, leading the GT4 class. But we have to see how the strategy game in the GT4 class will pay off. We still have 1 minute, 1 hour, 4 minutes and 48 seconds left of this race, and it's already exhausting for me that I have to look up to take note of all the drivers, all the strategies, and I wonder how these drivers will feel in this moment. We see now pit stop from Gerrit Metz, the Audi R8 GT2. A pit stop also for Bathurst in the 450 KTM. And oh my lord, that's an Aston Martin blocked. There was Aston Martin blocked, and he got hit straight by Pies and by. Oh my, there was an Aston Martin blocked right here. I believe it was practice. It is. I don't know what happened to practice, but that was the worst spot possible to stop the car. Maybe there's a crash and he bounced back into this place, but that's really unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Another crash with an Audi R8 GT2 machinery. It is Heijmans. It is Heijmans. The car in P3 overall has now dropped down into P7. Must be P7. Yeah, P7. That's tremendous for Heijmans. That's tremendous. What is happening, guys? For a time that I think I can take a break, then something else happened. There's the craziness of Bathurst Multiclass racing. That when something bad happens to the one driver, it creates a domino effect on the other driver, unaware of what is happening at the two corners ahead. So really, really unfortunate for the cars involved. Pit stop for Heijmans advance after the crash into this race. Hopefully I'm doing all okay for you, lads. I know I'm just a commentator in trials, but this is my first time commentating in English, but hopefully I'm doing okay at least. Good day, Falcinelli, both into the pits. Falcinelli overtook Good Day for P2, leaving Copsey leading in the GT4 class, but of course Copsey will have to take the first mandatory pit stop. Of course, if we have to think about it, this might be the best video time if you want to do your first pit stop. Then you can can or change the tires or just do a refuel, and then you have a margin of flexibility to try to plan what will be your second pit stop. Back in Pulse Bizil. And we're back with another slam into the wall by Mercedes. It's the Zulman Park corner number 9. It is really infamous at this point in the race. As Pulse Bizil is gaining opportunity up ahead on this lap. And of course, not much resistance from there. While Leach in the Chevrolet Camaro has completed all his mandatory pit stop in the GT4 class. So let's watch for Bleach. We might be trying a gamble to try to get up to the order into the GT4 class. Another pit stop for Schumacher, Gambino, and Gore. 2 KTMs into the box, very near each other. And it's a splash and go for Schumacher. That's what I believe that that's not a change of tires for Leon Schumacher. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. So now the first car with 1 pit stop already done is Max in the Audi number 2. Then is Schumacher in the KTM number 777. But now look at Bertuzzi decided it is time for the first mandatory pit stop by while Austin now leads without disturbance up front, leading up 50 laps. Oh, and a collision with the Chevrolet GT4, who gets in the middle of the corner, gunning. That's a contact that really penalized the Chevrolet in P22. He had to, GT3 cars had to take oh my word, they had to take a massive action to avoid gunning car, who really struggled to get started again, and finally seems to be again restarting. Thank God for that. No serious crash this time. But for gunning down, this is the damage that we have to be fixed in the pit lane. Not really sure what is opportunity for the race now in the GT4 class. Same thing we can say almost on Donald, which is really sad for him, because he showed great promises at qualifying and also free practice before, but then something went wrong in the opening stages of the race, and now he's third to last place. Of course, it's done 1 or 2 pit stop, but don't know how that will happen at this stage of the race. Take a moment to get back to Austin Maserati on board. What we see now, they are just accelerating on board. As now approaching the the central part of the circuit, with the karting up into the skyline and down through the dipper. Let's see, we have to make no nothing cars, nothing GT4 cars to that. But let's see, also the track, of course, okay. See quite a row of GT4 cars, all driving day race. So it's not really easy for autos to try to make a move. Oh, the Ginetta car slammed into the barriers, and I believe the Ginetta is a Trotman. No, it's a Wood. It's Wood up ahead. All good, at least for him. Roto takes top seal. Mercedes and Motorweg Porsche. Watch out for Motorweg Porsche, who might get slowed down, impeding a little by the leading Maserati. And so Top Seal is trying to take an advantage. Trying the move on the outside of the Porsche driver, but he can't quite make it work and tries to the outside, inside, again from the outside, past Brazil. It won't work. It is not work. And the Mercedes driver is full, at least for now, to stay behind the Porsche car of Motorweg P19 overall. Oh, look at Pulse Review like trying again with a slipstream. Into the side, Motorweg on the outside. I think Pulse Pisil has the edge now, and it is. He gets past Motorweg to climb up into P19. Great maneuver for Pulse Pisil, trying to rebuild this race. Of course, still not going to go. Meanwhile, Alessio Facinelli. A little space for my fellow countryman Facinelli from Italy, who's now P2 into the GT4 race in this BMW M6 GT4. I know the car might be labeled as M4 GT4, but for the Formula car, I will call it M6. The M4 is the one that we have now assembling the M4 GT3. What we have now. Then again, stop again, some pit stop, Schumacher again, Sharpie again. Let's look at the old man in GT4 Plus who's trying to get both his pit stop done already before the halftime reach of this race. So Jack Barnett into the pit stop. He needs a change of tires for Sharpie, even something more. And that's the same, I think, for Jack Barnett, who has to stay more in the pit lane for damages in the bodywork of this AMG GT4. Now, I'm waiting to see where Sharpie will come out of the pit lane compared to Brush, who's done both mandatory pit stop in his Chevrolet Camaro 161. It's gone down through the dipper. Sharpie is still stopped in the pit lane with some time to take the damage repair. I think the same thing can get applied to Leon Schumacher, still stopped with the Crossbow GT2 car. Now Blush through the chase. Oh, and there's an Audi R8 with I don't know which one it was. It's broken. The broken one, Audi. Large go past through the main straight and get past the Sharpie, who still stops. At the end, it's a slow pit stop both for him and for Leon Schumacher. Good thing again into the pit stop as well. It is a 30 stop and go penalty goes down over. From bad to worse, from the debut of Mercedes driver, now at least being perfect. Turning back to GT2 cars, Mike Austin, leading car in GT2 is Maserati. It is passing by GT4 cars up the mountain. Very brave attack from the Maserati driver, who will try to maximize his time for the first stint. The rest Maserati, of course. There is the lead. I don't know about you, but it seems like we lost also Leo Schumacher. We lost Leon Schumacher. Gode has come outside the pits. He's now into P18, which is a P5 in the GT4 class. He's only place for fighting for the podium and possibly the victory. Only place. We see what Copsey and Facinelli were to tell him about. Now a P11 and P12. Talking about the GT4 car. Let's save a little for Alessio Facinelli if we can. There was some action from the BMW M6 GT4 Facinelli. BMW. Game on top here. The mountain section. All clear from Falcinelli, trying to reduce the gap from the leading GT4 car of Copsey, the Porsche number 97. Both cars have already made one mandatory pit stop, one still remaining to go. Mike Oswald has come to the pits recently, so he left the lead of the race to Safontaine in the Audi. Look at it, Canadian Brustulli is now P2, potentially leader of the race, considering Safontaine is yet to one mandatory pit stop. Let's say that black and orange Porsche might be one of the most interesting liveries we see today here on Panorama. They call orange and black. For lots of us, a lot of F1 fans were reminded of the orange Aeros livery from 2002, sponsorship of Jos Verstappen. He was one of the distinguished cars the period of Formula 1 racing scene, was held by Tom Show that helped to really name a legacy of the sport with one particular car, the last car, who was still used by Minardi and Super Guri in the following years. Falcinelli, with his second mandatory pit stop completed, has returned to the track ahead of Mercedes Bathurst, and now will try to warm up his tires, then come closer to Copsey as Falcinelli is left by Bathurst and Gordon. Falcinelli now not racing with him. The track driver is yet to stop for a mandatory pit stop. Is the finger with the track driver? Yes, it is. All good. Now we already Copsey comes into the pit. He's saying, okay, Falcinelli has beaten, so I won't wait any longer. I'm not trying to risk my leadership this way. So let's see, between Falcinelli and Copsey, will be the one to claim back the leadership of the GT4 races as we now approaching the 15 minutes mark. Falcinelli, of course, now letting past Brustulli, who may claim now the lead of the GT2 race as Safontaine has come into the pit. Copsey already closer, and it's not even close. No, not even closer. Copsey with a massive advantage over Falcinelli. Might be all settled to take the GT4 crown at the DK Mountain Multiclass event. But the question is, seemingly he didn't change his tire, so how long the advantage will last against Falcinelli in the BMW? Well, Berstudi is in the lead of the race, while Sam Fontaine has put in changing tires and doing refueling for the Audi R8. Mike Oswald takes second place. Before work for the British driver. Then it's Matter who comes into the pits to take his second and final mandatory pit stop. 50-minute max for the DK Mountain Multiclass event, the last event of 2025 for Formula Racing League TV. Just a little bit. And again, seeing more action with Richard Ganning head-to-head in the first corner. And Ganning takes 18th place from the Aston Martin driver. But watch out from their bodywork damages, because that's no joke to talk about. And they yet have to pit for the one final mandatory pit stop. So not looking good for now for Reichings and Ganning in the Chevrolet and Aston Martin machinery. Behind them, the BMW or I think it's Disbury. Yes, it is Disbury with really lapped. It's really in the back foot, but he's trying to hold on to at least finish this race. Let's see the checker flag. Richard Ganning following from each other. Ganning already took the place a couple of corners earlier. But behind him, got into the pit for the final mandatory pit stop. Meanwhile, Berstudi is into the pits, so final pit stop. Also, for the Canadian driver in the Porsche 911 GT2 machinery, Mike Oswald takes, for now, the lead of the GT2 race in the Maserati. Berstudi, of course, I believe he will go for a change of tire. The question is, will Oswald and all his other rivals in GT2 cars do the same? For now, Oswald is not favored by the Mercedes or Boss Brazil. Well, to take overtake now before the mounted section. That's brave from Oswald. He avoided any major inconvenience with the Mercedes GT4 driver. Berstudi comes out into the pit lane. P3 for now. I believe no, he goes past Brown, who has of course warmer tires to his advantage. P4 from Berstudi, but now he has no more mandatory pit stop. And of course the tires will be better for him and the other till the end of the race. So let's see what Berstudi can do once he warms up his tires. Let's see then Ashley Gore, the white KTM number 22, 12th place. This British man, one of the few British drivers to tackle this event, alongside Mike Oswald, George Brown, Jay Brown, I think Gordon Brown. I'm really sorry. Speaking of Gordon Brown, let's see what is up to. A P3 in the Audi R8, number 134. Of course, it's a lot behind now. From Mike Oswald and even from Seth Fontaine, but is trying to push to gain the better place possible in this race. There will be work to do, especially for the ones that suffered heavy damages that will likely report. But it's been an amazing event so far. Both Hill to the pit stop. Last mandatory stop of the race. And now goes back into the racetrack. Let's see where it blocks between Reichings and Gunning are covering. Bob Steel is just ahead of the pair of Chevrolet and Aston Martin, and Gunning really misses the braking point the first corner, and that it takes an opportunity to Reichings, who slots back into P18, and that we say thank you very much also to Mardenweg, who managed to get past Gunning as well into P19. Really bad mistake for the Chevrolet driver. The Martin driver went really wide to allow for the Maserati of Keller, and that allows Morweg to take up another position up into P18. Patient driving from Morweg, right, to take advantage of the opportunities. Up ahead is P18 for now. P5 in the ranking of the GP4 car, leading by Copsey, then Alessio Facinelli and Gooding in third place, then Boss Pieces, Moldweg, Reichings, Gunning, but the last two cars are yet to pit. Meanwhile, the GT4 car, GT2 last, sorry, it's all to play for Mike Austin, leading the race. But we have to pit as Serfontaine and Brown have. Rusturli have an advantage of property because he changes tires and he's yet to stop. Oh! That's no good. That's not good at all. I think I see a Mercedes car, John Barnett, crash, and he collected another one. That's no good placement for John Barnett, who had to get out of here as soon as possible, and he goes now. But that's not good for Austin, who had lost a couple of seconds trying to avoid any major damage on his Maserati. And luckily for him, that all went well, but he certainly has lost a few seconds there. From Serfontaine, who's pushing now after getting rid of some GP4 cars before the mountain, waiting on after the second sector to see what is the distance between Austin and Serfontaine. Figure into the pit lane for the second mandatory stop. While we see Golden Brown now the trial of the GT4 car. I looks like one of the GT2 cars with this lap, and is trying to see the checkered flag. 20 seconds here from Austin and Serfontaine. Now Brown take a lap car, lap GT2 car, and now we have to do the pair Neta with good Gedman and G Wood. Of course, Brown is not really happy by the management of letting buy the cars from Wood. That's right now. This is not really happy. He's trying to push to get closer to Austin Serfontaine, considering he lost the place from Brustuni after the pit stop that will serve in the next couple of minutes. 31 minutes, yeah, ahead of us. Final stretch of the DK Mountain Special event. Rushton, the Canadian, is 4th place for now, but has done both pit stop and can go until the end. final into the pit. The pit second and final mandatory pit stop for the Mercedes number 19 driver. Sorry for some butchering. That's my first time. Still a little bit of difficulty rush to overtake Bathurst, the KTM number 450. But after the downhill section of the mountain, manages to get passed by, and some battle of the desert, I believe. It's Trotman again, Trotman trying to defend from Gelman, also with 4 wheels into the grass. Gelman saying thank you very much, taking P27 from Paul Trotman. That's good to hear from Gelman. Trying to have a 3 race. P27 for Gelman, P28 for Trotman, which is now performance, so I believe P26 and P27. Broker has come for his final pit stop of the day. 37 cars started the race, only 31 now still in the race. And we're still waiting, most importantly, for the GT2 cars, the final pit stop for Austin, Sefontaine and Brown, the top 3 at the moment, but Bruce Sturdy P4 is already served 2 mandatory pit stop, so he can go all the way to the end. It's really anticipating to see where Austin, Sefontaine and Brown will end up after the final pit stop, as we have 28 minutes plus 1 lap. 28 minutes and 1 lap yet to race here at Bathurst Multiclass. Also does not want yet to come into the pits. The British driver is of course trying to stay in the track as much as possible, to do the final stop as late as possible, so that they can gain the maximum of time with the car which is now contending the victory. Returning. Same thing for Sefontaine. Let's see if Brown wants to go even further with his current stand. Yes, he does. He goes further in his stand. And he's now about to lap the Facinelli BMW, actually P14, P2 in the GT4 class. Pit stop for Hageman's, pit stop for Berger, pit stop, final pit stop for Ashley Gore in the number 22 KTM. Final pit stop even for Keller in the number 179 Maserati. We've gone from scraps from the bottom of the mountain. Speed goes up to P6. Turbino, we're almost certain to go up to P7. Let's see if it's a special goal, it will be a more complicated pit stop for the Maserati driver. In the meantime, Ajay Gore re-enters the track behind Motorway, so it's P18 overall for the KTM driver. Sorry for the silence. Still waiting for the final pit stop for the GT2 cars. Now I'm going to stall and tension in the first category of today's multi-class event. We're all waiting to see which strategy will prevail. I've got the one that will stay on the track till the late stages of the race. We try to do a slash and go pit stop to try to retain the places, but they have to manage their tires until then. Meanwhile, I can say that in the GT4 category, the only one who are left to beat are just gunning and writing in the Chevrolet and Aston Martin machinery. Of course, they damage not looking good for the final pit stop, so we'll see where they will end up eventually in the rankings. Stop. Giovanni 5 into the pit stop. Second mandatory stop for the Mercedes driver. There's a lot of action just from Brown. Just lapped the leading difficult car of Copsey. Behind them, Bushtuzi is coming near and near here to claim back at least the podium places. But for the Canadian driver on this Porsche 911 GT2, there's a lot more on the card, and the Copsey in the Porsche GT4 has gone wide into the grass. Luckily for him, he's staying on the track, avoiding collision with the barriers, so he must keep enormous advantage of Pacinelli, that of course will have to take advantage of his new tires, but how long will be the road from Pacinelli to first place? 19.3 seconds from Pacinelli and Copsey. There might be not enough time to try a comeback from the Italian driver. Now only 28 cars remaining. All but 5 cars are yet to do the final mandatory pit stop. And we see then how the final rankings will evolve in this direction. Let's watch it for now. Copsey. Let's watch for now. Copsey in the first time on GT4. Let's see how he handles the pressure. The cars behind coming in and recovering. For now, it's very fast. It's still recovering for Pacinelli. It's animated for start. Until we cut the chicane. That might not do any good for his tires, as Facinelli, meanwhile, is doing a great line, great corners, and already recovering again. 16.1 seconds for Copsey, another 2 to 3 seconds put away from the gap. So we might have to watch Facinelli and Copsey, because this one will be interesting to watch for the final laps of the GT4 class. Good day is absolutely sure now on the third place in the GT4 class. It is a great result still for the Ginetta driver, but yet to see Copsey, unfortunately, with Copsey really struggling now. Don't use tires. And also in the middle, so lapping between the GT4 cars. Copsey now, even with a GT4 car, which is, I believe, from Jack Barnett. So that's not good for Copsey, who will be obstaculated, but Barnett decides, nope, I'm not having any of it. You can go through, my friend. Behind Copsey is Keller. We have to try just to finish the race in one place. It's now P9, the Maserati driver on next box. Of course, Copsey goes on the left, letting through. Let's see if Copsey can again cut the chicane of the chase, or this time will be able to do that. There's a yellow flag. There was at least a yellow flag. Copsey with a braking point. This time is all good for the Porsche Cayman driver. Notice how with all these crashes, all the stable mark of the braking reference, 100 meters are all gone down. So it's really difficult to there. There's not much more left, even in the energy of these drivers. Facinelli now, let's see, 14 seconds, 0.2, so another 1.5 seconds to put away from Copsey. He's regaining much time as we progress into the laps. The real question is, has he enough time to try and recover to Copsey and get an attack for the lead of the GT4 race? That's the main question. Personally, I don't think Alessio has enough time to get ahead of Copsey. Maybe it's only option, it's only possibility, hope with the Copsey gets another mistake so that he can get closer even more. Let's see, because Copsey has driven amazingly well down the race with an aggressive strategy from his part. So let's see which one of these two drivers will have a ride at the end. So we all have to wait. Need a checker flag. Because Copsey now with the BMW up ahead after, and the KTM DT2 of I believe is Leo Schumacher. It is Leo Schumacher is now into P21. Also for Leo Schumacher to finish the race in one piece. While Austin, Sefortine and Brown are not pitting yet. The waiting is really frustrating at that time, because we all want to know who's going to come out in top in the GT2 class. With all this uncertainty from the strategy board, we are not yet sure who will prevail from Austin, Sefortine and Berstulli. Brown, I don't think we can count in the race title. We'll almost certainly get out of the podium places once he got his It's a pit stop sorted out. So we have to see. Austell continues. Another lap for Austell. Let's see from Serfontaine in the Audi number 215. 30 minutes to go. It's hard, harsh, exhausting. DK Mountain Multiclass event. Meanwhile, for the GT4 class, Reichings is the only one left to beat, while Gunning has stopped and has come back behind Glacier. This will be interesting to see also the battle between the two Chevrolet Camaro containing V22 overall. So it might be interesting to see that they both are ahead of Austell. So it's not looking good for Austell, as he may be slowed down by these two Chevrolet Camaro fighting each other for the position. So he has to wait for the straight line. Also try to stay as calm and patient as possible, because he only has to wait for his stop to see where he will end compared to Brustudi, who's still in P4 waiting for the stop of the top three drivers at the moment. Always talking about the GT2 class. Of course, seeing the Maserati up front is getting back with coloration also. Either coloration similar with the blue one used to the NC12 with the one with the GT1 car that we all love in 2004-2005 GTR and GTR2 racing games. Sembin to the father of the project car and project motor racing. That car fielded by AF Corse with his drivers ahead, also Ferrari F1 driver Mika Sale, that won the F1 championship in those years. Real beast to tame. This year in the field that included the Lamborghini Murcielago by writer engineer the Salim Semler, there's the Ferrari 500 GTS Maranello, and many more, counting the GT1 category. So really other time really. And Goudet with another pit stop. That's not good for Goudet, as Pospisil get gifted with a place on the podium in the GT4 category. That's not good. A shame for Goudet, who drove a fantastic race until now. Probably for a crash, he's forced to take another unscheduled pit stop. And so his volume hopes are now over. Mondenweg also overtook him, Rajix also overtook him, and now Goudet re-enters the track and will be P6 in the GT4 class. Just a shame for Goudet. It was really potential for a podium place to play all his cars so well, but in more panorama, it's all in the click at the moment, and we'll be all gone. Also in the pit lane, final mandatory pit stop for the Maserati driver. This is the moment that will be made for. Auto stops, and Brustudi now is into the straight. Now we'll see if the Canadian driver will get ahead of Austell, which is around Congress straight. And Austell goes for a splash and go so quick, there is left no hesitation whatsoever. So Austell is ahead of Brustudi. Serfontaine passes Austin just now. So really great speed, great strategy by Austin, who's now the favorite, who's now in a current way to winning the race a Monte by a distance. Serfontaine is in the lead now, but remember, he's yet to paint. He's yet to paint. So all cards are in favor now for Mike Austin, which, if he does not crush the car, he take the last victory of 2025 in the Formula Racing League competition. It will be a statement of the 10th for the British driver, the number 227 Maserati MC20 GT2. Serfontaine ahead of him will be getting highs into a podium place, trying to stay ahead of the studio, and ahead of him the Mercedes of Zerbino has crashed into the barriers again at the corner number 18, the first elbow. A car that turn that has led to too many contacts and bumps here. Look at Germano, who's struggling now with some damages to his car, but only 6 minutes and 42 seconds left into the race, so he's now afraid of endurance to push until the checkered flag falls out here on Monte Panorama. With Serfontaine trying to get ahead of one of the Chevrolet Camaro, who are still fighting for the best Camaro driver. Blaze ahead of Gunning. Gunning has to let the fruit, of course. Serfontaine. And so goes Austin as well, and Giovanni really trying to get a good use of the safe frame. And the Chevrolet Camaro of Blaze really go wide. Let's see if Gunning will take the opportunity to get closer to Blaze. It is a door. And all again for the Chevrolet Camaro battle as mentioned. He got his mandatory pit stop, the final pit stop, and stayed ahead of both Chevrolet Camaro for P20 overall and P5 in the and oh no, that's because Alessio Facinelli got a crash and got out of the server, so it's a retirement also for Alessio Facinelli, which is a real shame. So many withdrawals in the GT4 category, and another white yellow flag for number 32 and 88. Let's see, it is a Wood and it is a good day again, and that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Fagan with another pit stop. Let's see now, Blaze and Gunning battling out for the best position possible in this race. A race that has seen so many withdrawals, so many retirements. Of course, it's a trial of endurance and patience. Not every one of them, not every driver has these qualities. So now the GT4 podium will be Country P1, Bossi P0, P2, we see now the Mercedes driver, and Monweg unexpectedly P3 for now. If there are no more surprises in this category. Serfontaine and Brown both into the pit lane for the final time. Bruce Tully goes into the straight and gets ahead of Brown and gets ahead of Serfontaine. So Bruce Tully takes P2. Great work for the Canadian driver. Serfontaine is in P3 and Brown, as expected, is in P4. So now the ranking, the list is on. It's on, and must be freed until the end of the race, because now also there's a massive gap from Serpentine now from Bristol is only to manage in this last 3 minutes and 10 seconds of the race, 25.9 seconds of gap. I don't want to say up ahead, but also there's one foot toward the last trophy of his year, of this 2025 campaign. Now let's see where he will cut the checker flag. Probably we have still 2 laps of racing, ladies and gentlemen, because the GT2 can do 2.12. Let's see what Austin would do. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. We probably see 2 more laps, unless also doesn't slow down the last lap or 2, and it all with a big bag and some last champagne, some prosecco, some panettone pandoro, or some sweets from wherever you are for the last event of the Formula Racing League 2025 season. It's all sorted out now in favor of Mike Austin and also for Canadian Bruce Sturdy, who is now comfortable in second place with his Porsche. Finally, okay, it's really flashing with headlights, probably advising the GT4 cars, but they're still fighting between each other. There's another crash. We have all the 27 cars left in the race during the pit lane with this birdie in the BMW number 26 GT4, already with again big damages. It's not very simple for all of these drivers, but being good at a big round closed for the drivers that will manage to take the checker flag to end this year in style. And Mike Austin, take a bow, because now he got a massive gap of 25 seconds from Bruce Sturdy. He really confirmed the pre-race provisions that gave him the title of favorite among any other. And he's taking place all these opportunities to take a P1. Mike Austin is showing no sign to slow down, so he will counter the finish line. He starts the final lap. This is the final lap of the race, the final lap of the 2025 Formula Racing League season on Assetto Corsa competizione. And there is the timer set 0. So we will be waiting for the final stretch for this driver, Mike Austin, in the Maserati that has won several races titles since he arrived in the GT2 scenery. A magnificent car, magnificent piece to drive. It's really nice, as for me, an Italian, to see an Italian car manufacturer up in the last race of the season. There's been another crash from the mountain, the 97 car, which I believe is Copsey. It's Copsey with a massive damage. But this time there's no Facinelli to recover all of it in one go. So Copsey eventually will manage to walk it out with a race win in the GT4 category, considering Pospisil is still the other way of the racetrack. Back to Mike Austin, the one that will write for last his name in the history book of Formula Racing League 2025 season, and we do in style, big style, with a strategy that work at absolute perfection. And we managed to get his Maserati NC20 to win by a distance. And that is the end of 2025 of Formula Racing League with the DK Mountain Bathurst Multiclass event at Mont Panorama. Then it was Mike Costa that takes the checkered flag and wins Mont Panorama. What a great performance by the Maserati driver. Unbelievable. Great performance by the British driver. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to everyone that we see the checkered flag shortly, including Bruce Stilly, who's now passing the GT4 cars. Kopsek will manage to hold on to P30 overall, and most importantly, the victory in the GT4 class. Congratulations also to him. Bruce Stilly takes second overall. Great job from him. Sir Fontaine will take P3 in the Audi R8 number 250. Gordon Brown takes P4, sorry, in the other Audi. Congratulations to him also to be in the fight until the end. We see now, again, we're waiting for our Pospisil will take P2 in the GT4 class. That's such an achievement for him to end the season on the podium of the GT4 class. So congratulations also to him. Getting the checker flag, P2 in the class, P15 over gold. Great drive also from him. Now we're waiting for the third GT4 car. Here it is, Monweg, who's left with just a few meters left. Metz takes P5. Great job from him. Takes P5 in the Audi. Then Baez will take P6. Actually, go we take P12. Here it is, Monweg that claims the final step of the podium for the GT4 class. Congratulations also to him. And to Baez who finishes P6 behind him. Then Ashley Gore, here it is, the last one to cut the checker flag. We cut the checker flag in P12, while Mike Costa taking the parade lap to end the season in style with a victory by 30 seconds from Brustilli. Then Sefontaine in third place, Brown in fourth, Smith fifth, Fies in sixth position, seventh place from Gerbino. Then Haymas, which set the fastest lap at the end. Keller 9 with 10, the Vert Gore Kopsek, winner of the GT4 class. The button, Pospisil, Leo Schumacher, Monweg, Reichins, Gunning, Blaze to round up the top 20. And we see by the final race recap, only 24 cars saw the checker flag, only 26 cars out of 36 drivers that participated today into the race. Such a shame for Facinelli, who might have been a shot to win it all, but that's how races go. And today's event, a Monte Panorama, wasn't the exception. So thank you all for tuning in to Formula Racing League TV for the final event of the 2025 season. All that left is to wish you many happy new year with the celebration that begin for the new year, hoping that next year will be great of results and achievements, not only racing but mostly on racing, because Power Racing League doesn't stop. And shortly after the celebrations, after the holidays, we'll be back with more action, with Tacos Tuesday, with more action, with more events to present to you to Assetto Corsa Competizione and in other titles. Wanna thank you, Gordon Brown, for giving me the chance to commentate here, to try to commentate in English for the first time. Wanna thank the other admin, the one also that raced in here, like Gerbino, Writing, Getman, also the commentators, David, Wilson, Prentice. Also I want to thank you for all our Patreon supporters: Sefontaine, Austin, Keller, Vegas, Weiss, Smith, West, Rushtuli, Heymans, Townsend, Paretis, Sharp, Hospital, and Barnett, who raced with us in this event, and which managed to provide a great spectacle of racing for the last of the 2025 event. I'm Andrea Mattavelli, and I thank you all to watch this event. The appointment is for 2026 with new events, new leagues, entertainment motion, target Formula Racing League. Good night and Happy New Year!
Green light, go, go, go.